crashes. But this is going to go live on YouTube, and it says we're live. So I'll get my microphone here. If you're on YouTube and you can hear me okay, let me know down in the comments that the audio is okay. And if you're over on Instagram, jump over to Wildlife Inspired over here on YouTube. We'll have a fun time. This is the selection show. You can check out my stories for some of the background on this. I can't put a link in here, but I'm going to check out on Instagram. You guys jump over to YouTube Live, and hopefully I'll see you over there. All right. Sound looks good. All right, let's see how many humans we have here. See if I can pull up some analytics on this one. We'll start in just about 2 or 3 minutes. I'll wait for some people to jump in. I do have a timer set over there, so hopefully some people are getting a chance to watch this. Oh, Leland, North Carolina. I feel like I know where Leland, North Carolina is. JM Wildlife, you're in here today, bud. I got some mixed thoughts on yours, JM. We'll get to find out if the group agrees with me. Daniel Gomez, my friend. Hey, Darl, I just saw you on Instagram. How are you? And you've got a good image in here tonight. Yeah, if I don't know, a lot of you guys I'll probably know from Instagram. If I don't know you, go ahead and put your names or your locations, I should say, down in the chat. And we'll see if that screen is appearing okay. Hopefully everybody can see the screen okay. We'll zoom in on this one. So let's get over here. We'll be able to zoom in a little bit. There we go. So hopefully the resolution's okay. You can see some of these images that I've selected over here. It's going to be a tough one. I screenshot images first. So I get about 150 images. Then I'll take and I'll pare that down. So I just kind of start to look and you get a feel for it. So I screenshot one at 9 or 10 a.m. And then stuff starts coming in and you're like, yeah, all right, this one's better. And I hate to use words like better, but we do have to judge this somehow to set up the brackets. And I broke this division into kind of like compartments. I had a couple hummingbirds. I had a couple non-songbirds, so I put them in one division. And then just a ton of songbirds, like just lots and lots of songbirds. One of the things I found is that while some of these were very, very, very good, they may not have exemplified this spring theme. And to me, spring was about color and maybe the kind of like the pinks that you think of and the violets and maybe the purples that you think of, and sometimes yellows in springtime. I did see a sense that people had this love is in the air theme. So subjects interacting, kind of this lovey-dovey feel. I thought maybe I'll put a few of those in as well. So North Idaho, oh, hey, Lindsay. Today, wait, Northern Idaho, Riley's birthday today. So if you guys don't know who Riley is, she entered a contest a long time ago and her family watches these live shows. It's kind of humbling to say. I'm going to show you her image here. And while these images may not make it to the bracket, I'll put her up here. I think, at the time she was 10 years old. If it's her birthday, happy birthday, Riley. She might be 11 years old now. And just a wonderful family. So I really enjoy hearing from them. So that's Riley's Creation and Frame. Follow that account if you're on Instagram. That should be fun as well. All right. We're going to be up about, it looks like we're going to hit that 50 mark pretty easily here as we get into 11 today. That's awesome. As we get into 8 o'clock. All right. So let's go through this and I'll kind of explain the bracket and the goals. So we're going to come up with 4 different segments. I'm going to have one all songbirds. Ultimately, it's a field of 16, just like the NCAA tournament. And, you get to the Sweet 16, it starts with 64. I normally start with these, what I call play-in games. So you're not officially part of the bracket, but I'll put similar images on Instagram. You guys vote on them on Instagram. And then there's some themes in here. So I try to group images by category. There's a lot of songbirds. So without any further ado, if anybody has any questions, I will keep an eye on I'll keep an eye down here. And then I have to start polls every now and then. So let me get the polls set up and ready. Okay. So I'm just going to test a poll. And the first one is going to be, do you identify as young or old? So personally, we'll see if the poll feature is working. Do you personally identify as young or old? My heart, I'm young. My body, I think I'm getting old. So I'm going to have to go old on this one. How do you identify? Up to 65 on the live show. While you guys are answering the poll, let's take a look. What I like to do is start by showing you, what are you up against? Like where are some of these top seeds going to come in? So I want to show you a couple here that I really, really liked. I'm going to go down and show you, look at this one, scissor-tailed flycatcher. And then I've got this other one here, really, really nice. I'm looking for kind of like spring growth. A lawyer. I used to think her name was Lawler. I think I grew up with a Lawler, that's why. Some really nice images. So this is kind of where I'm setting the bar for songbirds. This is Shelly Ann. Talk about this one in a minute. A little different because it's a Southwest feel, but still very spring. Had a bracket down here I really liked. So this is what we're up against. Over on the hummingbird side, some really, really color. Derek Chenot's in this contest almost every time, a terrific photographer. And then I'm seeing some new names in here, some people that I haven't had or don't recognize their names. So it's nice to see some new people. There's JM. This is going to be an interesting one. We'll talk about this later because is that spring just because they're kissing? I'm going to eliminate a couple right off the bat. So I'm going to take you down here to the bottom. I'll explain very briefly what was different about these. So this is Sean Hollow. He's an amazing photographer. Not feeling spring enough for me. I get it. It's a hemlock tree. Those little buds on the end, they look like that. Cantrell, love the image. Not maybe feeling spring enough as some of the other ones. I'll show you some small and frame ones that he will admit are better than that. And I've known Toby for a long time. This one, nice, nothing wrong with it. Has this spring growth. I will say the image quality, the light isn't quite as good. And some of this just is going to come down to light. This one, very, very nice, well composed, beautiful blossoms. Again, just maybe not quite there. Another good one down here. Peter Hammer had a nice one of a robin. Liam's a terrific photographer. Again, it's just not feeling like the spring theme that I liked. If we did a lichen challenge, that one might be in there. This one was really good. Again, it just didn't. Maybe Louisiana water thrush is to me a spring bird. That's when we see them, but it may not have felt as spring. Again, this one, beautiful lichen here by Carla. The light on this one I didn't like as much. I had this in the initial batch. This is a Tennessee warbler and some great little blooms. This one got a lot of love. Susan Jordan, I love this. I just can't, like, it just didn't feel, and maybe it's the species. This is an Aninga. It didn't feel as springy. I hate to do that because I love Susan. Nature G, really, really nice. Again, nothing wrong with that. Beautiful image. I put it in this initial bracket. God, Krista, I got you in here. Is it spring enough? I love the composition on this. By the way, I love when we frame a little bit with the leaves and it looks natural, and Krista did a great job with that. She has 2 accounts, by the way. I do let people put in 2 images from 2 accounts. This one was really, really good. I like the composition. The light was a little stronger, and that's what it's going to come down to. You see some of these other images. I had this in originally, this Blackpoll warbler, beautiful with the spring. Looks like maybe those are maple leaves. It just didn't quite get there for some of the other ones. And I love Shay. He's in this bracket a lot. It's feeding. It's a Cape May warbler. It's beautiful. It's going to come down to just these very small things with lighting. You're going to see some of these other ones. I'm a light fiend, by the way. So often if I exclude an image, it's going to be because of light. Like, that's going to be a big one for me. I'm going to go ahead and delete some of these that I just showed you. I wanted to call out the photographers. I'll probably lose them as viewers. If you're on the call still, just hang on. Just watch the thing. You know I love you guys. All right, let's go to these hummingbirds, and let's start with I wanted to call out this one. I got a message. I did a video on my selections, and this is Bird Nerd Photographers. This is Jason and Audrey, really cool couple. And they did not tag this. They didn't want this image in. I thought it was part of the selection, so I highlighted it because they're terrific photographers. And I think Audrey sent me a message and said, hey, that isn't our best work. I don't know why you tagged it. Um, and I feel her because as I looked at it, I didn't want to embarrass them by putting their work in there. And I get that it's very mediocre. Um, so I don't want to embarrass these two because they're wonderful humans by putting their inferior work out for the entire YouTube and Instagram audience to see and know that this one wasn't really that great. So I want to apologize personally about embarrassing you because I don't like to call people out or embarrass them, especially when they put kind of inferior and mediocre images out for the rest of the world to see. So Audrey and Jason, I do apologize. All right, now that I got that out of the way, let's go to hummingbirds. I got 4 hummingbirds here that I thought were pretty interesting and pretty good. So let's look at, oh, this is gonna be a tough one. I've got one I think I'm gonna just bop out of here right away. I've actually got 5. And then we're gonna vote on a couple. This one, Jay Brown, you had a chance here, but I gotta be super critical because the branch here is like intersecting the wing. I'm calling it because what you're up against is this guy. Derek Chenoa is screaming spring there. And a little bit of color has like this amazing composition. And then I've got these 2 kind of isolated. Let's start with these 2. I'm going to put a poll question up. So I've got 2 hummingbirds up right now. And I'm going to end this poll and start another one. So up on there, we're just going to do, I'll just do left and right. And you guys answer this one. I'm going to keep one of these for now. I might have to get rid of both. All right. What do you think on these 2? Is there one that stands out? I like one a little bit more than the other. I think the audience is going to agree with me. I got 89 viewers. Thank you guys so much. Oh, Audrey, you are here. Oh, Audrey, I want to apologize again publicly. Oh, it's funny. Vince Maidens, the legend is here. Vince has done some really good stuff. I featured him in a YouTube video on wide angle photography. It's not like Vince to take a lot of great images, but he happened to get one. He happened to get one right out in the African, I don't know, the elephant with the skies. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, we're going left here. All right, I'm gonna call this at 50 votes. That'll be like the threshold for voters. So I don't have time to wait for every single person to vote. So I like to try to establish a number. It's dead heat right now. I got 8 more votes coming in. I got 5 more votes coming in. I'm calling it at exactly 50 votes. Left is up by 1%. Oh my goodness. 56, 52%, 46 votes in. I need 4 more votes on this one. I'm going to call it real quick. Looks like left. Yeah, it was a little tough. The one on the right, I think both of them, the head angle's actually a little turned away. I like the wings on the right. The one on the left is facing in. The light's a little stronger on the left. I'm going to call this one for the left. Okay, David, great job. I actually preferred the right. I thought it was almost a dead heat, but I preferred the right. I'm going to call this one out. And now I'm going to keep Derek Chenoa in, and we're going to do one more test. I'm going to make these people work a little bit. I'm going to do top and bottom so that we know this is a new poll. So let me zoom in. So you've got the top here, and you've got the bottom here. All right, I'm going to keep one of those in to go against Derek Chenoa. Maybe that'll be a play-in game. So I'm going to end that poll. That was a close one. But they're going to have to win 2 rounds to get in. I'm going to start another poll. This is the hummingbird poll. I'm going to just do top and bottom. All right, let's see what you got on this one. I'll zoom in again so you could see it. This is Pav's pick out of Burbank, California, or that image was from Burbank. And little bit of color. I would say there's a lot of bit of color in that one. Sorry, Jay Brown. Listen, man, it was solid, but you had that branch on the wing. I had to put you off. Yeah, so go ahead and vote. I got bottom right now. Looks like that one's gonna win. This one I don't think they can come back. So I got already 43. I'm almost yeah. All right. So Pavs, you did okay, but now you're gone. All right, let's get out of the hummingbirds for a second. We'll get into some of these songbirds in a minute. I'm gonna go through wolves. Gosh, sometimes I just say words and they're not the right words. All right, this is a fox image, really, really cute. I don't know how you feel about the home behind it. This one, I think, personally, is better. And then I've got another one. Now, these two are pretty close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two fox pictures. I wanted to include them all because I thought they were pretty good. Let's look at, this is rice cakes on the right. And I'm going to get rid of this one. I do like this fox. I like the interaction. But again, the house got it for me. So I'm going to go ahead and thin that one out. Okay. And let me get these two up here. All right. So on the left, we're going to vote on these two. I'm going to keep one of these for now. And I'm going to do the fox, left and right. Right is by Photos by Rice Cakes, which is one of my favorite names on Instagram. What do you think? I got Lucas and Cannon on the left. I like that there's more yellow on the right and great perspective, and the fox feels kind of like in the habitat. This one pretty good also. The grass kind of in front of it, so if you like that look, maybe. But it looks, oh yeah, this is going to be overwhelming. Sorry, Lucas, I liked your fox, but I agree. I think Rice Cakes is going to move on temporarily. Maybe not forever, but temporarily we'll put her down here. I am going to take, I'm going to do one lovey-dovey probably as a playing game. I'm going to do lovey-dovey owls versus, this one's going to be tough, lovey-dovey chipmunks. And the photo quality on this one is actually very good. Like the light's good, the sharpness is good, the resolution's good. So I'm going to move them down for now. And then I had this spring turtle that I really, really liked. I don't know if it has competition right now, so maybe we'll move this down and maybe it'll play in against the fox. So maybe we'll go fox, turtle, hummingbird, owl, and these guys, and that'll let me some more games. Now, there's three I'm not going to keep. Oh, you're going to break my heart. This is, I didn't have a spot for this. The duckling indicates spring, but it's a spring theme. Riley, you know I love you, but I'm gonna take this one out for now. And then I want to show you two images that I'm not going to keep. Both they're very talented photographers. They don't feel like spring. So Gnome Girl, this is amazing, by the way. So this is really, 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 really good. Like the pose and the look on that little one, but it's snowing on the ground, and it doesn't feel like spring to me. It's a spring theme. So Gnome Girl, I got to get rid of you. And this one, this again, it's like a great pose. It's interesting, but in a spring theme, you know, maybe the bear's coming out of hibernation kind of thing, but it didn't feel like spring enough to me. So I'm going to kick Nick out, not because I don't like the image, just because I got to get some spring in there. Now let's go over to these. I got yellow-throated warblers down here. I got 4 of them. I'm going to kick 2 of these right away. I'm going to explain why. I like the color on this one, and I like the color on this one. If you look over here, Nick Parrish, who's a terrific photographer, it doesn't scream spring as much. And then Rob Wallace, who's a terrific guy as well, and a good photographer, a very good photographer. Isolated, beautiful images. They don't, but in that group of 4, personally, I'm going to eliminate these 2. So I'm going to eliminate those 2. I'm going to put up a new poll here in a second, and I'm going to get a drink of water. I'm going to put these 2 yellow-throated warblers. Yeah, yellow-throated warblers. I'm going to put these against each other. Let's look at them closer. That's a lawyer, or lawyer. And this is Law Cap Photography. All right. So let me put those next to each other over here. I'll put a poll question up. Thank you guys for joining tonight, by the way. I did a video earlier on this YouTube channel. It's about approaching wildlife, interacting with wildlife, and sometimes we consider ourselves the animal whisperer, and how that's probably not a good thing for most wildlife. It's not a blanket rule. Scott is not drunk. No. It's water, baby. I mean, I did have one bourbon, but this is water. All right, let me read some of these comments while we go. Left so far. All right, looks like left. Let's see how many votes I got in here. Do I have over 45? Yeah, left's going to take it. A little bit more color there. Oh, I honestly I liked the one on the right. I think if it had a little bit more in the background. The background was a little hollow. And the left has more color. So I think that's probably more eye catching for people. So I thought that one would be close. We're going to do two perches. I'll do a top and bottom for this. I want to narrow down these two perch images. The one on the top is by Molly Fox. The one and that's really nice. Nice curve, fresh blossoms down there. You see the similarities in the two in terms of the perch. Not a lot of background on either one, but that you don't have to have background. There's no rule that you have to have background colors. The backgrounds are kind of muted in these. So I'm going to do a poll that just calls for these two, top and bottom. So I'll just call this perch because these are very basic perches. Top and bottom. All right, let's see what we got on this one. And I'll tell you one thing about that. I'll zoom in a little bit. The eye, I think this is a bush tit. That eye is really, really nice on these animals. Sometimes that makes a difference just in the species. And this looks like a little finch here with some nice colors. So I don't know, that one's a close one for me. I anticipate this one will be a little closer. I think this is going to be a close one. We're going to try to get to 50, maybe get 55 votes in here on this one because we're already at 50 now. We're at 53. It looks like bottom, slight edge. Oh, this is going to be a tough one. 53 votes in. Can we get 2 more votes in to call this one? 55 votes in. Bottom wins. All right, Molly, I thought yours was exceptional. The bottom one's also very, very good. Let's do a little bit more. Okay, I want to show you these 3 real quick. I'm going to call this one, I think, myself. I want to show you 3 that I thought very, very good. They all make this field. In a field of flowers. You'll see the difference to me in just a minute. So that one's really nice. This one, isolated, almost looks like a purple finch. You could correct me if I'm wrong. Jacob B, just a great photographer. And then I got similar feel. So these were kind of like, you see the same feel, smaller in frame, but look at the texture. So you get the texture of the perches, and then you get the background color. So this one was more complete image. This is Shelly Ann. I really like that image. It fell into this spring theme because you could see the emerging cactus here. It was different in that way. And then we get the yellows in the background, which kind of indicate flowers and new growth. So I'm going to call this one myself. No need to vote on that one. Shelly Ann, you're going to get parked up here. I'll park you up at the top. All right, I got 3 field birds. We're going to vote on 3 of these. I want to show you all 3. I've got one here. I really liked this image, the field, but then I got this one. And I thought, I think that one's going to be better. And then I got this one. They all had a similar vibe. I'm going to go ahead and eliminate the top one. And we're going to put Jerry Ramsey versus J. Rem. I'll call that J. Rem. We're going to put those 2 head to head. So let me end that last poll. I'm going to start a new poll here. You guys vote with me. I got left and right. And I'm sharing my thoughts on some of these. You can agree or you can Caston's finch. Okay, thank you. We don't have many of those out here in Pennsylvania. They do look like purple finches to me. Let's see what we got. Left or right? This one's going to be tight. I really like Jerry Ramsey on the left, and then I saw this one. The one of the nice things about this is the separation in bokeh, and it's really soft feeling. The one on the right. By the way, if you want to soften the image a little bit, and this works sometimes with pastel type colors, if you actually lower the contrast, a lot of people think like raise contrast and raise saturation, but if you actually lower the contrast and saturation, it will soften the image up a little bit. So play around with that a little bit. All right, Jerry Ramsey, love you. Looks like you're taking a trip, and see ya. All right, now this next one's going to be a 4-parter. I got 4 birds. I'm keeping people's choice on 1, maybe 2 birds. I've got 4 birds showing. I'm going to zoom in close. I've got Chris Keel. Well, I know all these people, so it's hard. This is Brad O. And just super people. Krista Chappelle, and Looking Back on Earth. So these are dogwoods. This looks like a chokecherry plant in the background, if my plants are correct. This one looks like actually, I think that's a multiflora rose, or could be some kind of a raspberry or blackberry. And this is a fruit. I don't know if that's, I don't know that fruit. Almost looks like blueberries. All right, so we're gonna do 4 for this. So I'm gonna put them up so you can see them. Give me a minute to create the poll. And it's gonna be just top right, top left, etc., etc. So we're gonna go top left, top right, and then we're gonna add bottom left, and hopefully I spelled everything, and bottom right. Pick your favorite of those 4, and this one's going to be tough. I'll keep one for sure. Maybe we'll play around with 2, but I'm planning on keeping one of these because they're all fairly similar in terms of scale. They all have plants. You'll see a difference. I've got 4 others on the other side that are also a little similar. So let's see what this looks like. Compositionally, I think they all kind of work. Chris's is a little different. One thing I'll highlight on Chris's is I do like, and when you can include the entire perch in the frame. That's like bonus points for me. You don't have to. I like bonus points if you can get the entire frame, perch, leaves, whatever it is. So Chris's has the softest feel to it. It's got a very, very nice warm glow. Light's really, really good. Brad's looks like it's kind of in that golden hour. So ideal light, not as soft as Krista's. And then looking back on Earth, I think those dogwood flowers there, I'm assuming, are just a really nice touch, a really, really great accent. So those 2 are going to be tight. We'll see if we can get to 60 votes. Oh, we're closing in. Bottom 2 are definitely the 2. Let me get 2 more votes here. Let me get up to 60. Looks like it's probably going to be bottom right. They're really close. I'm going to keep both of those because they were so close. Let me show you one I'm not keeping. By the way, this is KSW, Kristen Say Wittenstein. She's got a tough last name to pronounce. This is a gorgeous image, like really, 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 really good. I would say like the light exposure for a songbird, like the mood, the color, it's like perfect. However, like it's not screaming spring. So when we do the fern challenge, I will encourage you to enter that one again. I hate to delete it because it's such a pretty image, but I am going to do so. All right, I've got 4 images here. And what I'll probably do is see where we stand and maybe pick the top 2 of these. Let's see what we've got. These are going to be tough. This also looks like a chokecherry tree to me. That's Mark Troxel. Shots by Becky. Wilson's Warbler. Don't know this account. Afraid to try to pronounce it. So if you're on watching live, put your name down there, your actual name. That's another yellow warbler. So we've got 2. And then this cedar waxwing. That might be an apple or some kind of fruiting tree out of Pennsylvania. So from my home state. Oh, by the way, Becky from Pennsylvania. Also, Mark from Massachusetts. We got Vermont in there. So let me close this poll. And we're going to start a new poll. So it's going to be a little bit different because I've got 4 in here. When I start this poll, I'm going to put the names this time just so we don't get confused because the names are up here. So I've got Mark, Becky. I'm going to put in here, I'm just going to put ESO because I'm not 100% sure. And then I'll put Darla down here. All right, those are the names. And it's in order clockwise starting top left. So Mark's top left. Let's see if we can get 2 and maybe we'll put them up against the other side. I want to see how many images we're getting down to. Nice to get down to about like 24, 25 images, somewhere in that range is nice. Mark off to an early lead. ESO, now you're taking the lead. We're at 27 votes, trying to get to that magic like 55, I think would be a good number for this one. Darla, you're still in there. ESO pulling away. ESO, ooh, get out of there. This one on the bottom, I mentioned that soft feel. It's a good, I'll do a comparison in a minute. Mark has really nice light. Mark's light looks a little more shaded. Darla's light is very ideal. It's very even. That one on the bottom left, it's got a little glow. So it's like it's diffused with a little bit of golden light. Becky's got like mixed light, a little bit harder on the bird, a little softer in the background. So all different. ESO pulled away on this one. So what we're going to do, nice job to my friend Mark, Becky. Oh, Darla, yours was really good. I actually thought Darla's had a pretty good chance in this one. So what I'm going to do is take these four now. I've got these four songbirds remaining on purchase. Let me see what else I have over here. So we've got this one, this one, this one. We'll have to narrow some of these down later. Oh, let's just do a quick left and right. I'm going to keep one of these two. So on the left, I've got a woodpecker. On the right, I've got a yellow rump. Let me end that poll real quick. If there's any questions or anything while I'm putting this up, go ahead. Feel free to use the box to ask questions or the chat to ask questions. Looking for names. If you haven't said hello on this too, if you're on here live and you're just, what do they call that? Not stalking, lurking. If you're lurking, make sure you say hello. No lurkers allowed. I'm just going to scroll back through and say hi to people. I think I've gotten pretty much everybody that's on here. No lurkers today. There's Sean Hollowell. How you doing, Ted? I recognize the name. Oh, Mark, you're going to say hi to me now that I just booted your image. Donna, when I say your name, I pronounce it McKnight, even though it's not. We used to have a quarterback in Philadelphia named Donovan McNabb, but people used to like to call him Donovan McNabb. So I used to, in my head, I always say Donna McKnight. Ottawa. Yeah, it's cold down here too, man. Oh, there's Lawyer. She's going to be mad because I booted her image. Oh, I see all the people that I just kicked their images off, and it's embarrassing. By the way, if you're taking a safari, you can see Off the Beaten Path Safari Ltd. That's Becky Searing. She runs a safari company with her husband out in Tanzania or Tanzania, depending on where you're from. So, yeah, definitely, if you're ever doing a safari, write that name down. Happy to give them business because they're terrific people. I've had them both at the house, actually. All right. I'm going to you see this game I got coming up for you in a minute. I'll talk about that one. We're whittling this down pretty good. All right, I've got one image here I got to get in. Left and right. Okay. I got it down pretty good. I got 3 images here. We're going to whittle these down. I'm going to put 3 against each other, head to head. This is Barb Ward Blank. This one, I don't have a name for that one. Oh, must have cropped the name out. And then Daniel Gomez, terrific guy, terrific photographer. His wife might be a better photographer. All right, anyway, we're going to go. I'm going to start a poll. I'm going to go left. Well, let me do names. I got Barb. I got Dan. And I'm going to put question mark because I'm not sure who did this, but I want to highlight, and I apologize. I don't think names should matter on this one. You might be at a disadvantage, but this one, I actually liked this really soft feel, and you could see these emerging buds. I don't know the plant that's on. That one does look like a purple finch, and I might be wrong again, but that one looks like a purple finch. Northern Parula with some really nice little spring growth back there in the background. And then, of course, Barb, this looks like she's in some red bud. This is the leaves of the red bud here. And then these are the emerging flowers, maybe just past their prime on that one, but good nonetheless. So what do we got? Okay, I don't know if I lost my signal. I lost my chat. Let me scroll down. If you can hear me, if I'm still streaming, let me know, because the chat function on here just went kaboots. Okay. Okay, something happened, and I'm afraid to restart this. So, if I reboot this, I don't know what happens. I lost the chat completely. Like, I can't see it. Let me open up a new window. Maybe I can get in there that way. Is there a poll up right now? I can see that I have my iPhone over here, so I can actually read the chat But on my computer where I run the polls from, I can't see the polls. They like disappeared on me. Let me just try something here real quick. I'll open it up as another window, and hopefully this won't crash my computer. Okay. All right, let me close that. Hopefully this works. All right, I can now see I can now see the poll. So I'm going to start another poll. I apologize for that. The poll's going to read Barb. Listen, this is a live show, and I'm doing this by myself, and it's pretty low tech for the most part. So, you know, you can't complain. I'm not charging for the. Oh, man, I forgot to do this. I swore I wouldn't do this for free anymore. All right, here's what you got to do now. Somebody's got to donate $1. I swore I would not do this for free anymore. So somebody has to go in and figure out on YouTube how to donate $1. I'm so mad I didn't get my dollar before I started this. All right, the poll's up. And I was talking about this image. Okay, I think I moved it. All right, I was talking about this image on the bottom here. So this one had that really soft new growth. So hopefully everybody could see that. All right, let's see where the poll goes. Oh, this one's close. We'll try to get to 55 views. I don't know. Vince Baden, you're like a computer like engineer, doctor or something. You can figure out how to give me $1. There's got to be a button on there somewhere that says donate $1. There it is, $1.99. Nice. Thank you, Urban Bird Brain. I am now, Vince, don't worry about it. I got it covered. I got it covered. I just needed $1 US. Vince is actually a pretty good guy. He has a reputation for being a sarcastic, which he is incredibly sarcastic. He's also extremely generous. He's done some very nice things for me in the past. So, all right, I'm going to close that poll down. Mystery image goes on. That's that purple finch in Willow. That's what it is. It says it right there, Arroyo Willow. All right, let's go. I've got one more. I'm putting this through, by the way. I'm not voting on this one. I love this. This is DK Nature Photos. It's a great pose, completely isolated with the flowers framing it. Now, I will say this, and it's not overly critical. If I could flip the flowers, coming in from the other direction, so the flowers are coming behind the bird, that top one especially behind the bird, it kind of works a little bit better because the bird's facing that way and your eyes read left to right normally. So like the bird's looking one way and the branches are coming out the other way. However, it doesn't matter. Oh, Caleb. All right. Caleb, good job. I'll tag that in there. So I know. So this one's going through. Now I've got Jason Jablonski, who's a terrific photographer. That one's pretty good too. We're going to have to get a little bit of a vote because I got to narrow these down. I'm down in pretty good shape though. Let me see. Let's do a quick count here. If I do, the Hummers are 2 birds. If I do a play-in game here and here, and a play-in game between the fox and the turtle, that gets me 4 teams, 4 out of 16. That means I got 12 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's only 13 here. I'm actually almost there. I only have to eliminate like 1 more of these images to get there. So I am pretty close. And then I can start putting these games together. We do a bracket like small in frame. All right, so I got 2 down here, smaller in frame. I could do this one and this one. That's a bracket. So let me show you that bracket, what that might look like. That would be our 4 games small in frame. All right, that's fair. That gets me 8. I got woodpeckers up there. This one's also small in frame. I got songbirds down here. I put the cedar waxwing up there. Maybe against the, I could do the, let me do the cedar waxwing against this. And now I just need to do a play-in game. So I've got to pick 2 images to play in against each other. Let me talk about this image before I do. We didn't vote on this one yet. This one might just make it through. The interesting thing about this is by John Douglas Guthrie. and he captioned it like kind of like I dare Scott to put it in. He doesn't like setup perches, and setup perches are not my favorite thing. This means that this was taken like in a blind on a watering hole. I actually know exactly where it was taken because I've been there. And they will often set up some flowers and some perches around there. Now, the birds are behaving in the most natural way. In other words, there's like just water there that's attracting them with a lot of stumps and stuff. And yes, they'll put seed out sometimes for these birds, but there's not a lot of like human interaction. So I don't know how habituated they are other than they're just drawn to this area, and it's very secluded. So I don't like the idea of habituation sometimes because it often makes wild things comfortable with people. So it might bring them near traffic or rodenticides, like people are poisoning areas or killing rats, and now you're encouraging the animals to be in areas where humans are. So that normally doesn't get along real well. Anyway, but I thought it's a good image, so I'm going to leave him in there. I think he dared me to put him in there, but I think it's good, so he stays. So this could be a bracket right here. And then down here, I've got 5. So I'll just play in, I'm going to play in 2 of these images. So the yellow warbler I'm going to keep. I'm going to keep that one in. I'm going to keep this because it's so pink. I'm going to keep that one in. Why don't we play in? Oh, is that fair? Is it fair to play those in? By the way, these are the 2 that were yeah, I'm going to play these in because these 2 went head to head earlier, but they went against 4 others. This time I'm going to make that the playing game. So there's only going to be like a couple playing games this time around. So I got 2 hummingbirds. I'll play in the pairs, then I'll play in the fox versus the turtle, and then I'll keep these 4. I'm going to call these smaller in frame. That's guys, I think we did it. It's only 8:39. We got through like 63 images. All right, let me know your thoughts. Let me read these comments real quick. If you have any comments about, and don't be critical. I mean, you could say like, hey, I like this better than that. But honestly, if they make it to this board, they're good images. Like I don't bring in images that I think are poor into this board or just not as good. So feel free to comment on any of these, or especially if there's one that you really, really liked, or if there's something you thought was interesting, I can pull that image up. If you say like, hey, Scott, show that image of this. I really like, whatever it is about it. So if any of these really stood out to you, if not, we'll wrap up the live show tonight. Normally this goes an hour, but I thought this would be longer than it actually turned out to be. And do you have an early favorite? Do you have an early favorite of any of these? I heard some love for this woodpecker. This is Isaac Rosenberg. I was looking on the Instagram comments. Once I get notified if people comment, I can see them. Well, that one's really good. How about the fox? That's got a chance. The chipmunks have a chance. Any cute interaction does really well on Instagram, so that's got a good chance. I personally, big fan of this one. Like really, really big fan of that one. A big fan of this one. So these are all good. So it's going to be interesting. I'm not exactly sure how I'll match these up, but I'll try to match these up today, and then we'll start the bracket challenge tomorrow. Oh, Derek's hummingbird. Let's show that. That's definitely got a chance. Strong chance. That's got a strong chance. Shelly's is stellar. Turtle is great. Yeah, and the turtle's really interesting. It's got beautiful light. Without that flower, it doesn't make the contest. So it's a nice thing they got that flower in there. Yeah, turtle's really good. Shelly Ann's is good. Yep, top left is unreal. Really, really good. Somebody's calling the finals already. Woodpecker and turtle. That'll be interesting. I don't know that the turtle's going to make it out of that bracket. I got to be honest. They have a playing game against the fox, so that's going to be tough to get in there. They're going to have to take that fox out. Now the other thing I could do is not play them in. I could just bring them in the bracket, but that means I got to get rid of. I'd have to play in a couple other games, so that would be interesting if I allowed that bracket to stand and then just rearrange this a little bit. I'll play around with it tonight and see what I think. Do you think we should keep those 4 and not make them playing games and just make that a bracket of 4 and maybe play in? We'd have to play in two other games. I could play in these 2. And I could play in maybe these two. Yeah, I could do some things here. I have some flexibility. All right. What does the Feist family say? We really like the bottom left. So I'm assuming that's this looking back on Earth. I'm assuming that's them. Calling final hummingbird versus the fox in the meadow. See, now people are so I've had two people call for the final to be the fox and the turtle, which makes me think I shouldn't play them in before the challenge started. It makes me think I'm going to rethink this. I'm thinking now I'm going to play in these two. I'm going to play in these two. And I'm going to play in these two. Or do I play in the woodpeckers? Ooh, I think I'm going to play in those two. That means the bush tip will go through. One of these two will go through. And then all four of these would be play-in games. And they would take on the winner of this side of the bracket over here. Yeah, I'll have to play around with this one a little bit. I think I can make it work. All right, that's all I got for you guys. Do a poll for a different playing game. I think I'm set on this one. I think I'm going to keep the turtle and the fox. I think I'm going to keep them in and not do a play-in game. So anyway, thanks for jumping in today. Thanks. I think I made $4 today. I might have made $3 on this one, but thank you so much. I made $3 on this one today. So I feel like a winner, and I'm going to say good night. You guys have a great night and take care of yourselves and enjoy the wildlife. Hopefully it's coming out soon. Hopefully spring's around the corner. So anyway, have a great night, guys.